Welcome. I'm Chris Nagel. I'm the Speaker of the Faculty this year, and I want to welcome everybody here to Cal State University Stanislaus for this wonderful academic year 2018-19. I say that now, but I've been here 20 years, and one of the things that I have come to love about this university is that this university isn't just a good thing for the Central Valley. This is a university that does good for the Central Valley, and there is a kind of, I suppose, a vibe at the university that people get, where we understand our work in terms of that, in terms of doing good. And I think it's a credit to our present administration, President Jun in particular, that she has fostered, and they to collectively have fostered that spirit of doing good for the Central Valley and doing good for our students. And so it excites me to be back. It wasn't so long ago that some of us remember, that we may have approached the beginning of an academic year with a certain amount of dread. But now the spirit is completely different, I think, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that all of you beautiful people are here today as well. And that is my welcome, and next we have the welcome from the ASI.
Good morning. Good morning, students, faculty, staff, and administrators, and friends of the university. Welcome to another semester here at Stan State. My name is Maria Marquez. I am the ASI president, and as an elected student leaders, As elected leaders, we were elected to help improve the lives of our students and the university. Many of us have our own initiatives that we would like to pursue within our term in student government. However, as student leaders, we also want to work on issues our students want us to focus on. Last year, during our annual elections, ASI conducted a survey to narrow down the top 3 issues our students would like their student government to focus on. These results stated that students would like us to focus issues regarding parking, academic advising, and student clubs and organization resources. Along with the issues identified by our student leaders, by our students at large, ASI will continue to work hard to implement a sense of pride, a sense of warrior pride, to be specific. I am asking and highly encouraging you, everyone, to begin showing a warrior pride by wearing red on Wednesdays and attending an athletic game, or maybe multiple, they're pretty exciting. We all want students, faculty, administrators, and staff, or even members of the community to share this sense of warrior pride. And for that, I thank you for your time and enjoy the rest of the welcome address.
I'm now here to welcome President Ellen Jun to the stage for her welcome address.
Thank you, Dr. Chris Nagel, for your kind introduction, and good morning. Yay, very good. Welcome to the fall academic semester. It's a fresh start for some, and truly an opportunity for everyone interested in bringing renewed ideas, energy, and collaborative efforts to continuing the remarkable trajectory and transformation of our beloved Stanislaus State. Now, since no successful university can exist by itself in a vacuum, I have the privilege of introducing our elected officials, community guests, and friends of the university who are joining us here this morning. Today, we have highly respected, influential, and important thought leaders and members of our foundation board, our President's Community Ambassador Council, and our Alumni Advisory Council. Will all members of these illustrious boards and councils please rise, wave, and accept our applause and thanks. So all members of our elected and advisory boards, please stand. Thank you. Next, I would like you to please join me in recognizing members of my cabinet. Please withhold your applause until all the cabinet members have been introduced. Dr. Kimberly Greer, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. Dr. Daryl Hayden, Vice President for Business and Finance and our CFO. Dr. Paz Maya Alvarez, Interim Vice President for Student Affairs. Dr. Michelle Lati, Vice President for University Advancement. Dr. Gitanjali Kaul, Vice President for Strategic Planning, Enrollment Management, and Innovation, also known as SPEMI. Senior Associate Vice President for Human Resources, Equal Opportunity, and Compliance, Julie Johnson, Ms. Julie Johnson. Dr. Rosalie Rush, Senior Associate VP for Communications, Marketing, and Media. She's way in the back, waving way in the back. There's Ms. Naisha Rhodes, Director of Presidential Initiatives. Where's Naisha? Over here on the side. And Ms. Nina Palomino, Executive Assistant to the President. So please welcome all of our cabinet with your applause. Now, in addition, since this marks the start of our new academic year, will everyone who has joined our campus as a new faculty, there are 15 of them, or as staff or new administrators, or those who've been recently promoted, they're all listed in your program. So if you have your program book, you can find individual names. But all new faculty, staff, and administrators, and those who've been promoted, please stand and let us all join in congratulating them. Woo-hoo! So thank you and welcome to all of you who are new or newly promoted. Now, I cannot believe that this is already my third year. Welcome everyone to the fall semester. But with my first 2 years squarely focused in the rearview mirror, I have been able to reflect on the many wonderful things we have accomplished together here at Stan State in really such a short time, and these times are certainly exhilarating for all of us. Now, the news about what we are accomplishing at Stan State has spilled over our campus boundaries. So we continue to receive high praise on the national level for the quality of education we offer and the value that we add to students' lives. Just this month, we were named as one of the nation's top 384 colleges, or the top 12% in the nation by the Princeton Review, and now this is the 13th consecutive year. And we're actually only one of 3 CSUs to make that list, which is based solely on the quality of the education we provide to our students. We also found out that Money Magazine has moved us from 82nd to 49th on their list of the nation's best colleges for the money out of 3,000 universities. And in addition, we're number 31 in the nation among all public schools in America. So, yes. So these national firms are finding out what we're doing here, and it's making waves. So I am confident that we will continue to garner these accolades for the years to come because of the focus and the momentum that we have developed through the approval and implementation of our new Stanislaus State University Strategic Plan 2025. You may recall that the plan took slightly over a year to conceive and to write, and with the 25 members of the Strategic Planning Committee representing all facets of and constituencies of our campus community, which included faculty, staff, students, administrators. Several campus town halls and events were hosted, and the feedback received was incorporated. And even more gratifying, when the plan was completed, it was reviewed by and unanimously endorsed by the Academic Senate. And I am deeply indebted to the involvement of many faculty leaders and shared governance on our campus. So since then, I want you to know that I have received many glowing comments about our university strategic plan from various venues and from others who have commented on just how comprehensive, compelling, and ambitious our 2025 plan is. And if you haven't read it already, it's all on the website. Just Google University Strategic Plan 2025 and you can see it in its full entirety. So I'm here to say that our plan is ambitious and compelling because we intended it to be that way. We wanted to design a thoughtful, living, breathing document that could serve as our pathway through until 2025. So our University Strategic Planning Council was incredibly energetic, proactive, and visionary in creating our strategic plan and acknowledging its potential. So, as we start the 2018-19 school year, it's paramount that the momentum that we gained through the process of developing and adopting the plan continues and must continue in full force as we implement it. Now, here's just one small example. Now, I've heard from some peers about how impressed they are that technology is actually infused throughout the plan because they seldom see it mentioned in other university plans. However, in this day and age, technology is like oxygen for universities. You can take it for granted since technology touches almost everything we do at the university, whether it be for communicating, like email, or updating our websites, whether it be for improving teaching, like updating our smart classrooms or our LMS system, or for implementing more transparent and responsive budgeting systems, for maintaining robust, timely financial aid and data analytical systems, for improving our HR and other business and administrative processes. So, our Plan 2025 makes it explicit that we need to be up to date, to assess carefully, and consider how we integrate IT advances throughout all of the divisions. And in short, it's critical for any university's survival. One tangible example of our commitment to technology is that 40 Stan State classrooms have here you see an example. So this includes 33 classrooms that were updated on our campus and 7 at the Stockton Center, and 4 more classrooms this semester will be undergoing upgrades. Those are in addition to the technology-enhanced active learning classrooms that have been developed on campus, with possibly several more in the planning stages now. I wanted to let you know that one key individual critical to our IT assessment and implementation plan is someone I'd like to introduce you to. He's newly hired Mr. Rafael Espinoza. He's our newly hired CIO and AVP for Information Technology. There's his picture. He begins August 31, so when you see him, be sure to say hello. And so once again, I want to extend my congratulations and heartfelt thanks to everyone who had a hand in the development and now implementation of our Stan State Strategic Plan 2025. Your work and dedication will have a positive impact on the campus for decades to come. Now is the exciting next step for each of us to engage and work together to do new things to transform the campus in stimulating and productive ways. It takes courage to come up with and share transformative ideas, but it's the willingness to share and the courage to develop innovations that will allow our university to grow within our region. American psychologist Abraham Maslow said, quote, "One can choose to go back towards safety or forward towards growth. Growth must be chosen again and again, and fear must be overcome again and again," end quote. For many of our students, particularly for those among the nearly 74% who are first in their families to attempt to earn a 4-year degree, it can take exceptional courage to challenge the unknown and step onto a college campus. For those who do, the experience certainly is transformative or life-changing. And that was the case for Alejandro Martinez. Here he is. He graduated this spring with a degree in political science, and he admits struggling as a student at Rodriguez High School in Fairfield. And he was told by his high school counselor to forget about college and to follow his brother's example and enlist in the military. But something inside Alejandro gave him the drive and the courage to be the first in his family to earn a college degree. Now, once he came to Stan State, Alejandro engaged as a student and he soared. He was accepted into the Panetta Institute's Congressional Internship Program in 2016, and this fall, he is starting law school at UC Davis with the goal of becoming an advocate for victims of domestic abuse. There's one great example. Alejandro's story is, as I said, an example of how not being afraid to fail can lead to a transformative experience. In his case, the blossoming from an underperforming high school student to a strong college scholar. In his case, it took courage to go against the advice of his high school counselor and take the huge step of enrolling at Stan State. And taking that first step will often open more doors and decisions that culminate in a collection of small steps that will ultimately yield larger, transformative change. And as Indira Gandhi has said, quote, "Have a bias towards action. Let's see something happen now. Break that big plan into small steps, but take the first step right now," end quote. We have certainly taken many, many steps toward our goal of envisioning Stan State as a university of choice, of distinction, and of high regional visibility. So let me summarize some of those steps, some certainly larger than others, but all reflect how our faculty, staff, and administration is engaging to enhance and propel us forward and the region we serve. So, a second accomplishment focuses on our Graduation Initiative 2025. Last year, we took a number of new actions. For example, the campus intensified advising in the departments and the colleges. You heard Maria talk about the students' interest in improving advising. We will continue to do that this year. Second, we've added 253 new course sections to our winter, spring, and summer course schedules from last year. We'll continue to do that this year. Third, we offered tuition waivers to students who were on the cusp of graduating. That is, they had to take one or two more courses, and we offered that for the winter or summer session. And this way, we have helped approximately 435 students graduate sooner than they would have without this targeted advising. That's new. In addition, we implemented more major-based advising with faculty advisors, and we initiated other high-impact practices for students. As a result of all these efforts, our university has made very good progress on 5 of the 6 Graduation Initiative 2025 goals that are assigned to us by the Chancellor and our Board of Trustees. So you can see the chart here, but basically we've improved our 6-year first-time freshman rate of graduation by 4.7%. That's an enormous percentage in 1 year. We've also increased our 2-year transfer and our 4-year transfer graduation rates. And we've already met one of the 2025 goals, even before 2025, and that is we have completely eliminated the graduation gap between our underrepresented minority students and our non-URM students. That's a huge, very important achievement. Furthermore, we have reduced the Pell Gap by 1.6%. So, as we continue, I am confident that we will reach and fully even exceed our goals as defined by the Chancellor's Office and the trustees. Now, it's very important to note that these gains don't just happen out of thin air. It takes focused leadership and engaged collaborative teamwork to move the needle on graduation and student success. Our campus has responded by creating 2 new large and expanded vigorous, critically important committees that meet regularly to review our data, to look at the interventions that we've implemented, and our student outcomes, and these groups have provided vital leadership for our student success. So, I want you to stand if you are first a member of the GRATE Committee. Those of you who are members of the GRATE Graduation Rate Excellence Assessment Team, co-chaired by Shauna Young, AVP for Academic Affairs, Javante Willis, Director for Institutional Research, and our newly hired AVP for Student Success, Dr. Fuji Collins. Would you all please raise and accept our appreciation? Please rise. Thank you. Also, secondly, I want to have you stand if you're a member of the Enrollment Management Committee. Again, this is a very large, over 20-member committee chaired by Gitanjali Kaul. So everyone part of the Enrollment Management Committee, please stand and accept our applause. So, in sum, I applaud everyone's collaboration in academic affairs and student affairs, SPEMI, and all the divisions, and to all of our dedicated faculty for their daily commitment to champion the success of our remarkable students. A third achievement in progress is our campus's preparation for our upcoming WASC reaffirmation and accreditation process. Academic Affairs has taken the lead role in this process, and they are collecting, analyzing, and presenting our campus data and student success outcomes. So many, many thanks go to Dr. Christopher Klaus and Dr. Shauna Young. Please stand up. I know Shauna's here. There's Shauna. There's Christopher. Wait. They are doing the heavy lifting of writing this report. It's a very massive, important document. And there will be additional ways that all of you can support this process. And those announcements will come out throughout this fall semester, all ahead of the actual team, the WASC team that will be visiting our campus in Turlock on April 3 to 5 in 2019, in the spring. Fourth, last year, we launched the President's Commission on Diversity and Inclusion, or PCDI, and we allocated $50,000 to support programs across the campus focused on improving campus climate, as well as hosting campus talks, activities, and supporting faculty research in this area. In addition, the PCDI was charged with developing a brand new Campus Diversity and Inclusion Action Plan, which is now in the process of academic Senate review. Again, you can find the draft document, diversity plan, on the President's website. Just Google it. You may have already seen our new banners hanging throughout the campus with our student-created slogan. Do you see it here? We stand with a stand, like Stan State. We stand together for diversity and inclusion. And it also features photos and quotes from our students. The next step in developing a culture of diversity at Stan State will be the hiring of a director for our newly created Diversity Center. We're in the preliminary stages of also developing a task force that combines the interest of the university and the city of Turlock to work together on key issues of diversity and inclusion. And I hope to have an announcement regarding this task force in the next month or so. And you probably saw, as you came in, our new video highlighting our commitment to diversity and inclusion. Fifth, in light of the fact that only 35% of our total student body is male versus 44% system-wide, in order to achieve our goal of narrowing the Central Valley's education and their gender gap, we are embarking on a new Males of Color Success Initiative to recruit and retain more Latino and African American males to our campus. This is something that actually the Chancellor's Office has begun doing for the first time in the history of the CSU just this past year. So to support the efforts to narrow this gap, I have authorized the hiring of a new coordinator to oversee the recruiting process and to find ways to support the academic progress of young men once they arrive on campus. And a search for the coordinator will start this fall. Thank you. And by the way, Naisha in my office is helping to coordinate this search. And so if you are interested in participating in any way, please let Naisha know. Okay, she's standing over to the right. Sixth, during the spring semester, we launched something I called IDEAS, which stands for Innovate, Design, Excel, and Access for Success. It's a grant program. So in May of last year, 8 creative proposals to help the university work smarter, totaling more than $50,000, were funded. This proposal represented the first cohort of University IDEAS projects within a program that's now administered by Dr. Gitanjali Kaul. More than 20 proposals came forward from the campus last year, and one example of one of the 8 programs that was selected to receive funding was called Yo Puedo, or I Can. It's a boot camp proposed by Assistant Admissions Director Carolina Alfaro. Carolina, are you here? Please stand up, Carolina. There she is. And here it took place. They spent the money, and here's the picture of the students. This is a summer camp conducted during the summer. It was designed to create a stronger pre-college going culture with an underrepresented community here in San Joaquin County. Now, given the positive response from the campus, I am so pleased to announce that another round of competitive proposals will be funded next spring. The IDEAS program actually grew out of our strategic plan, goal number 3, that urges the university to build an innovative and visionary future that draws on campus creativity. And I'd like to encourage everyone to think about submitting an ideas proposal that will boost student success this year. As I shared in my end of the year email communication last May, and I'm sure you all read it carefully at the end of the year. I know it's so busy, but we have so much to celebrate. Now, while time doesn't really allow me to note everything, I do think it's important for our campus to hear some of the highlights of things we've achieved. So, as a seventh achievement, actually made just this past month in June, is that we announced a Memorandum of Understanding, or an MOU, with San Joaquin Delta College that will now permit Delta College students to earn a bachelor's degree from Stanislaus State without ever leaving Stockton to drive all the way down here. The partnership, which we call WOW, acronym meaning Warriors on the Way, includes a guaranteed sequence of courses, upper division courses, in 3 of the most common majors at Stockton Center. They are business administration, psychology, and liberal studies. So these courses will be offered in sequence, so a transfer student can take a complete set of courses within a 2-year period at the Stockton Center. And the agreement gives students from Stockton and the surrounding communities unprecedented access to public higher education close to home, and with the potential to increase their earnings, improve their lives, the lives of their families, and the community as a result. So here's a picture of President Kathy Hart and myself signing the MOU on their campus. In addition, we're working with our Stockton Warrior team, the Stockton Site Authority, and the Chancellor's Office to make strong progress towards the construction of a brand new modern university facility at the Stockton Center. We will be talking more about those plans during a Stockton Center Town Hall that we've scheduled for October 5th at 10 to 11 right here in Snyder Hall. The town hall will be designed to help the campus community and others better understand how the Stockton Center serves our entire region and how everyone benefits from having a branch campus. So save the October 5th date if you are interested in joining us in this town hall. We're also moving forward with plans to expand the WOW program, not just with Delta, but to the other 3 community colleges in our 6-county region. They include Modesto Junior College, Merced College, and Columbia College. So that is continuing as well. An 8th achievement is our exciting pilot program involving our new Design Your Tomorrow certificate course, which is actually modeled after the Stanford Design Your Life series. This continuing education unit course, which is offered through University Extended Education and actually funded by an innovation grant from the CSU Commission on the Extended University, involved approximately 30 students this past spring and was team taught by Dr. Bruce Hesse, Dr. Harold Stanislaus, Dr. Ellen Bell, and Ms. Julie Settelmeyer. If you're here, please stand up and accept our applause. These are our brave faculty and staff who are going to try something new, learn how to teach this amazing, innovative, active Design Your Tomorrow. We're calling it, our students like Design Your Tomorrow, and that's the name of the course. So it's an innovative workshop certificate course that actively guides students in identifying their goals and creating a career path while they are still in school. And this allows them to map out a direction towards a career of their choice. I'm especially excited that I wanted to announce that Provost Kim Greer said to me one day, "Do you ever miss teaching?" And I said, "Yes, I do miss teaching." And she says, "Well, I have a proposal for you. Why don't we think about team teaching a Design Your Tomorrow course together?" So Kim and I will be teaching a new section this fall, sometime in the starting probably in around October or so. It's only 7 weeks long. So I hope that many of the faculty here today, yes, that's how I can do it because I'm too busy otherwise. So it's just 1.5 continuing education units, but it is jam-packed with incredible, wonderful activities to help students think about mapping their future lives. So for those faculty who are still interested in perhaps exploring more, we held a retreat this summer, and there'll be more opportunities for you to learn how to get involved if you also want to teach this as faculty. In future semester. So we have learned this year firsthand about the impact that Stan State can have on a global scale. I don't know if you remember seeing the story about this, but in February, this past spring, a group of Italian farmers visited our campus and engaged with our students and faculty so that both sides could learn about sustainable farming practices applicable to both the Central Valley and the Emilia-Romagna region of central Italy. We have similar climates, if you will. So here's a picture of them. The group from Italy was so excited to be here, and we were equally excited to have them visit us. They were wide-eyed at a lot of the things they saw here, and were very polite when they saw some things here that they were convinced that they did better in Italy. So, for example, one of the Italian farmers who happens to live in Parma, which is one of the leading producers of the world-class thin-sliced Parma ham, and of course the Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, so famous in that region. At one of our Get Acquainted sessions, we provided the group with some meats and cheeses and light snacks from our region, which they proclaimed as being very good for America. So also this spring, we were able to share the story of an amazing, what we called successful solar suitcase project. Did you remember hearing about this in the news? Yes, so here are what happened. So we had a project that Stan State conducted with Dutcher Elementary School, and this group provided solar power to classrooms in Kenya. And this is the solar suitcase up there, do you see it? So this invention, we take for granted, the fact that we have the ability to light a room in the dark or to recharge our cell phones, but in many rural areas of the world, the Solar Suitcase Project now has the potential to transform thousands of lives by powering classrooms and education. So, of course, our efforts to impact lives through education does start at home, and the current semester marks the launch of our 4-year teacher credential program, designed to enable qualified students to complete both a BA in Liberal Studies and a teaching credential in 4 years, rather than the usual 5. We received a grant program in 2016 to launch this, and it's designed to help ease California's K-12 teacher shortage with a special focus on expanding the number of teacher candidates who are earning STEM, special education, and bilingual credentials. These are the most critical areas of need for teachers in California and in the Central Valley. So I hope you can see a pattern is starting to emerge, and you can start to hear the difference that we are making here at Stan State. We are not only changing the trajectory of our students' lives, Stan State is helping to positively shape the Central Valley and the world. Another great example of how we're responding to the immediate and compelling needs of our region is through the launch earlier this year of our Family Nurse Practitioner Master's Degree Program. This program will alleviate the shortage of primary care providers in the Central Valley, which actually, if you didn't know this, has fewer physicians per capita than any other region in California. So in January, we received a $1.6 million gift from Legacy Health Endowment in partnership with the Livingston Community Health to establish this program. The gift will provide tuition assistance for students who plan to live and work in this region, and for mentoring initiatives that will connect them with local healthcare professionals. So if you're in the nursing program, will you please stand and accept our applause? All nurses. Yay. Just like our campus continues to receive attention for the impact we're making, our students are attracting the spotlight and earning awards. So earlier this month, we were informed that an unprecedented 4 Stanislaus State students received CSU system-wide scholarships, and here they are. First, Heather Simmons, who's maintaining a perfect 4.0 GPA as a second-year master's student in English, and she received the $10,000 Schottler Scholarship for visually impaired students. She's blind. Second, Livier Sanchez, a senior biological sciences major who received a $6,000 CSU Trustees Award, and Atur Camber, also a senior studying biological sciences, who received a $3,500 CSU Trustees Award. And finally, Michael Wyatt, a senior studying business administration and an infielder on our Warriors baseball team. He won a $3,000 Leffingwell Scholarship. So this is the first time that Stan State students have claimed 4 CSU system-wide scholarships. So congratulations to all of them. And now for some notes and perspectives on the budget. We were on a high, and now we're coming to the budget. Now, the state actually provided $197 million in new base funding for the CSU this year. So that's more than was originally allocated. But it's still only 70% of the $283 million that were requested by the Board of Trustees to the governor and to our legislature. Now, in addition to that 197, we did get additional money of $122 million in one-time funding from the legislature. So our Stan State budget did increase by about $11 million, and $6.5 of that is in base funding, and $4.5 million is in one-time funding. So these resources will go to fund necessary mandated compensation for everybody who received raises, and for benefit cost increases, which continue to go increase every year. So these resources will fund those compensation and benefit cost increases, but in addition, the Chancellor's Office has instructed us to spend the additional money for supporting and expanding our Graduation Initiative 2025 programs. All campuses are doing this, and also to consider funding more additional course sections, as I mentioned to you earlier, to help our students get the courses they need to graduate. In addition, the funding will allow us to address critical deferred maintenance projects, not all of them, but the most critical ones. We'll continue to improve lab safety, and we'll augment funding for several student affairs positions, as I announced earlier. Now, Vice President and CFO Dr. Darrell Hayden will hold an open campus budget forum in early September to brief the campus on last year's financial results, our year-end reserves, our divisional budgets, and provide detailed information on how the new funding will be used in consultation with our University Budget Advisory Committee. So stay tuned for my emails to say when that forum will occur in September. So with this year's budget allocation, it is greater than originally proposed by the governor. It still fell short of allocating new base funding for additional enrollment growth. Nonetheless, we are very grateful to the shared commitment of the CSU and our state legislators towards investing in higher education in order to continue to transform our students' lives and our regions. Ninth, no one these days can walk through our campus without noticing the physical hole in the middle of campus. Isn't that amazing? The whole building went down. But soon within that space, the new $52 million student-funded University Student Center will rise and change the look and feel of our entire campus. Students, as well as faculty and staff, will come to find that a well-designed, well-managed student center is a place where classroom conversations can overflow and emerge with greater depth. At accomplishment number 10, an ongoing project that to most of you will seem very much behind the scenes is the refocus of our University Communications and Public Affairs Division, led by our wonderful Vice President Michelle Latti and Senior Associate Vice President Rosalie Rush. We have established proactive relationships with all of the key media players in our region, both print and digital. Now, in the past, Stan State sometimes experienced difficulty garnering the attention of our local television stations, especially since they're based more than 90 miles north of us in Sacramento. So our new approach has resulted in more than 300 stories about Stan State in the last year that are now appearing in regional media, including 40 feature stories that were the direct result of being proactive in the way we pitch stories to media outlets. So our communications and public affairs team also continues to analyze and enhance our social media and marketing presence, and the strategy is to develop a broad-based marketing plan for both our main campus and the Stockton Center. As I mentioned earlier, this is part of the effort to reposition Stan State through increased regional visibility as a university of choice, of distinction, and increasing the value of a Stan State degree. So thank you to Public Affairs, so to Rosalie and Michelle. All of the above examples I've talked about demonstrate how the university, through the engagement of students, faculty, and staff, continues to move forward in becoming a regional powerhouse. But we also recognize that often the greatest transformations start one person at a time. And no one can attest to this more than Althea McClam. Here's a picture of her, who as a child growing up in Oklahoma City dreamed of going to college until life got in the way. Her mother died when she was 17, and with 6 younger children in the house, Althea stepped into the role of being a mom and got a job to help support her family. That job paid only $70 a week, and her take-home pay was even less, at about $53 a week. Once her siblings got older, she moved to Oakland and started taking classes at Laney College. Again, life happened. She got married, and she and her husband took in and raised a foster child. And she worked for 16 years as a correctional officer, and then, sadly, her husband died. Althea next moved to Stockton and enrolled at Delta College, earning an associate degree. And she transferred where? To Stan State Stockton Center, and this spring, at the age of 65, she walked across the stage with a bachelor's degree in social sciences. So congratulations. By the way, she's now considering to go on to earn her master's degree. Now, Alejandro and Alitha are only 2 success stories out of hundreds that illustrate how students are transformed by their Stan State experience. And they will go on not only as ambassadors of their alma mater, but as people with the potential and drive to be a transformative power within the region. We are so proud of our students. Our success as a university is defined by their success. We know that our students are Valley tough, brave, pioneering, courageous, and dream of going beyond the norm by earning a college degree. But they're dreaming not just for a job, but for professional success and personal success that's fulfilling and gives back to their communities. They are implicitly becoming leaders, transforming themselves and their communities. They have grit, tenacity, and tremendous potential. So I think about Roseo Garcia, here she is, who grew up in an agricultural family and came to the Central Valley from Mexico. Neither of her parents spoke English, but Roseo came to Stan State as a first-generation college student and graduated with a double major in sociology and Spanish. Is Ann Strom here? Where's Ann? Is she here? Oh, she might be watching from her computer at her desk. So Roseo didn't stop there. She had Dr. Ann Strom as one of her instructors, and Ann Strom helped to encourage her to get her master's degree in sociology. So Roseo went to the University of Nevada and is now finishing up her doctorate where? At UCLA. She plans to defend her dissertation next spring. And we recently found out that Roseo just received a prestigious minority fellowship from the American Sociological Association, one of only 7 such national awards presented annually in the nation. Yeah, so congratulations, Roseo. So Roseo's story illustrates how Stan State succeeds in transforming the lives of our students. And because of their success in college, and because they're strong enough to attempt college and brave enough to engage with their professors, they go on to become leaders in the region and beyond. At my fall address last year, I asked how many in attendance were excited and ready to make Stan State an even more visible, distinctive, and outstanding campus. Do you remember how many of you said you were ready? It was a very large percentage. It was 92% of the audience said that you were excited or very excited to roll up your sleeves and get to work. So with our strategic plan in place, we now have a blueprint that illustrates how our university's shared goals for the next 7 years will go. These goals are, 1, to be a student-ready university. 2, to provide transformational learning experiences driven by our faculty's success. 3, to boldly pursue innovation and creativity. 4, to hone administrative efficacy through thoughtful leadership and stewardship of resources. And 5, to forge and strengthen bonds with our communities rooted in a shared future. It's a new year and a new day on campus. So with our collectively constructed marching orders in hand, I invite everybody to engage fully in the efforts and experiences that will continue to transform our students, our faculty, our staff, our community, and our region. Thank you for coming to the fall welcome. I wish everyone a great year. And we have to rush off, my apologies, because I invite all of you to come over to Fitzpatrick Center, because at 11 we will be doing our freshman convocation to the record-breaking enrollment of, we now hit over 1,586 new freshmen are joining us, so please join us there at 11. And thank you and have a great year, everyone.